we're going to build by for the Bow Wow Park. And our whole goal for the Bow Wow Park today is to deal with this. All right. Because this is completely unnecessary. Oopsie. I want to get rid of the window. I mean, I'm probably going to want to get rid of the window, honestly. Wow. We're going to have to make this into a unisex bathroom, I think. Which is totally fine. I don't mind having the barbecue pit here. I think the stereo's unnecessary. I actually don't even like the stereo over in the main park, but I'm not going to get rid of it. Let's see. They have balls, they have a doghouse, ball. Is this all they get? Kind of pathetic, in a way. So I guess we are getting rid of these windows because they're unnecessary. So if anyone ended up missing it, the whole reasoning why we're doing this is because we're trying to make this more uniform. And I hate all-in-one bathrooms in the town, and I've already gone through and deleted them everywhere, except apparently here. What if we just left it like an open door that you walk in? Like you do in those really uncomfortable beach parks? I hate those. It's all like, hey, there's one door to go into the bathroom. Where is it? It's open to the public. You're like, why? It's just... I mean, I could give this 2 stalls and a sink, or I could just say fuck it and just give it a single toilet and treat it as a singular bathroom. Which I'm fine with. But if I'm gonna do that, where's the door I want? Not that one. This cheap-ass door. Like, what is the point in this entire little walkway thing, though? It's like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's just leftover design choices. Here, there we go. Can we put in, like, small windows at the top for this one? These? I think these would work. Especially if we sit here and we do this. And we sit there and say, hey, you're now this wood. There. I didn't even notice there was an outside to that window. I mean, you can't really see it, but at least it's a little nicer. And gives it some semblance of, like, light coming in. And I'm fine with that. Hi, Cynthia. Here. We'll do the stereotypical thing that you see in, like, restaurants and shit. We'll do, like, oh god, not that toilet. Not that one. It's too fancy. Here, we'll do a urinal. And we'll do a regular toilet. One of these stupid wall-mounted sinks. Ew. I don't like that. That's a little bit better. Actually, we could just make it this. Same metal as the... That's fine. We don't necessarily need it, but... eh. And then what we'll do is... Do we want to put a plant in here? I mean, it seems really odd to have a plant in here, but at the same time, it's The Sims. Who the fuck cares? I almost want to put, like... You know what would be interesting? I was thinking wall-mounted, like, gardening tools or something in here. It doesn't make any sense for it to be public, but at least it, like, looks a little better. Like, it looks like this spot has purpose. Like, if you do that. And then... They're in here somewhere. A no shelf. Bridles? Bridles make no sense. Here we go. These. I mean, those kind of make little to no sense to be putting in here, but at the same time, it looks a little bit better. If a murder is going to be committed in this park, these are going to be the weapons. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I know it was interesting with it at an angle, but it made little sense. So, I mean, honestly, I'd rather move the grill away from the wall here, but I mean, if I put it anywhere, I'd probably put it right here. And then just keep that there. And then we could just do... I'll fix that, don't worry. Just go in here with this and go... Boop. Damn it. There. It doesn't look too bad. Hey, Buffy Summers. Okay. There's not a whole lot I want to do in The Sims today. There is the one house we can work on a little bit more since we've been completely neglecting it, and I don't mind that we're neglecting it, honestly. Because I'm kind of on what we're doing with it. Okay. So, all-in-one bathroom gone along with a little break thing and turned into a singular bathroom that any Sim can end up using. Both with a urinal and a toilet. Makes a lot more sense. I don't know. I don't know what else I would do with this. This is apparently the back end of it. I really feel like I'm gonna have to take something. I thought it was fine earlier with the phlegm, but now it's starting to pop up. Is there anything else that dogs can use? Here, for dogs. Ball, pet toy crate, food bowl, dog beds. It's pointless to get anything else. Oh, that's right. We can apple tree. We could replace one of these for a lemon tree, as we said. Because we have almost no lemon trees. Testing cheats enabled on by debug on. Gardening plants and spawners. It would be under store content. Eggplant lemon tree. Need some mulch. Mulchy mulch mulch. I need to move the... There we go. I had to move the OBS window a little bit so I could actually see some stuff. I'm assuming it's redwood mulch. Yeah, it is. There we go. There we go. Alright. We have lemon trees. It's the only lemon trees in the town, really. And I'm fine with that, technically. Okay, so before we do anything else, we're going to go back into return to game. We're going to say continue, and we're going to save it. Anyone is just arriving, we already tested and we double-checked. The Axel that we killed off on Sunday was the imposter. Because I looked him up in my notes and where he was, and he's still there. Alternatively, when I killed off Chaos Longshot and I looked him up in my notes so that I checked on him, he wasn't there. Axel was sus. So I think anytime we see a sim that we already know is in the town and they have a specialized skill, like they're playing in a band, or what was Axel? I forget what the hell he was. He was like he was a bartender or something, which was really weird. When we deleted him, like for some reason the game went to create a bartender and it grabbed his sim, and I have no idea why. It does that if you usually put your... So I've mentioned beforehand, if you go into like edit town mode, and if you drop a family into any house, that member of the family is put in kind of into the town's memory and can always be used, and they're not always considered homeless sims. Sometimes it'll just remember them. So when I put people in the town, I was very careful to try and not put people more than once. But in the very beginning, when I had to remove some people, I was grabbing people out of the family list here, dropping them in and using them to remove like kids and stuff when I had to like trim out families. I think I must have dropped in Axel a second time because the game grabbed him a second time and it shouldn't have. Okay, so that's one empty house. The other empty house we're looking at is this one. I don't know how to clear that out. I thought that was homeless sims. Apparently that's not just homeless sims. Oh god. This is all we've done with this house. Reminder on this house and what it looks like. It does look fantastic. It needs more windows around it, but we'll work on that. It is an over-the-top home. I like how it was turning out. But why does that take that? God damn it. Okay. Don't know what to do with that table. I might leave it as it is. That's right. We made that into like a cat corner. So there's a cat that lives here. So we need to make sure that we put in a cat something. This is supposed to be the kitchen. Here. Where is... There we go. I want this light in here. Like, straight up in the middle. Because then I want other lights around the outside. And I don't know what light I want to use in here. But everything about this house is starting to scream, even though it's newish, it's still older, so we might do these. But if I do those, I also want to take this color and apply it. And we'll see how well this works. Okay. So my thought for the kitchen is typically what I usually do for the kitchens is something that's split in half where the tile is on the top portion and the bottom portion is whatever else. So that's usually under paneling we can do that. Like, this is very much something we can do that with. This is kind of something we can do that with. Kind of would like a top border like that. Let me see. I need a tile that's not going to look like crap. I mean, this one's okay, but it's not gonna do what I want it to do. Like, can I make this into... Here. 240, 240, 240. Okay. I want to try something. 240, 240, 240. Yeah, see, I can't make a checkered pattern with this. Ugh, what is this color? There we go. I mean, maybe I don't need a checkered pattern with this. Oh. I mean, that doesn't look that bad, honestly. Like that. And then if we really wanted to carry some colors over... Stop. No. Shit. It's a very busy kitchen. It's a very busy kitchen, but I kind of like it. Oh my god. Oh my god. How big does this kitchen need to be? You know what this is gonna be? This is gonna be like those kitchens that you always see, like, in all those movies and shows where you have, like, that giant-ass table in here that's unnecessary because the dining table's supposed to be here. But what's gonna happen is all the Sims are gonna gravitate into the kitchen to eat. Oh, no. Fucking hell. Don't come around here no more, Tom Petty. What? I'm so confused. Maybe I could use these cabinets for a change. Like, I can take this literal and put it as the trim. Ooh, I like that. Like, so this cabinet, the top, plastics and rubber, we'll make that into, let's see. I mean, I suppose we could make it into wood if we wanted to. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. What is with this corner over here? Okay. So if we do that, and I think if we do... Okay. we say delete. Delete. We can turn that into... You can't keep it like this if you delete it on its own. So if you do like... Shit. See how I did that? Okay. So if you end up like doing this, and I've run through this beforehand and remove it, see it doesn't how to do that. You have to have testing cheats enabled, and you have to do a Control-Shift-Click, and then say delete, and that keeps the bend. If you do anything to it, you lose that L shape. So of course we're gonna do something. First we're gonna fucking stick a refrigerator there. And hope we have the right one. This one's good. God damn it! Get your bend back. Dilly. Wait, why is it like this, though? Let's just keep it like that. It makes it look better, doesn't it? Ew, now you're ugly. Go away. There. Whatever. This is one shiny-ass refrigerator. Here. A little better. Actually, all of this is shiny as fuck. It's like way too shiny. No. Come here. There. Why? I'm all like, copy this, and it's all like, yes. Without all the details. I'm like, what? No, put your fucking details back. I mean, it might be better if it's like that. Because then it's got the green edging everywhere. You ready to find the person that's unsure of logistics for your store and severely hurt them? What? I don't know what that means. It means you've had a very bad day and someone made your life more miserable than it should have been. Sounds about right. I love when people fuck up and they're just really bad at things. Music has that regularly. Here, let's see. I put this here. Alright. Appliances. So the one thing I kind of want to do, isn't there a very large range stove in this? I feel like there is. Sims 1, you can get a giant ass range stove. This one, it's like the most you can do is the business bistros on as usual. The person that runs your store. I mean, streamline stuff. It's too. I might have to do this one. Only because I don't like the electric burners in this house. Doesn't feel like it would work. That looks too old for it. I like that stove, but oh my god. Did that even go through? Now I'm starting to get double alerts. Why?
Mushroom.
Shit. Hold on. I have had this once before. Let me try this now.
Mushroom.
No. Fucking hell, and I don't even remember what it is. Irison is Shore. Thank you for the follow. I don't know where the second alert box is. This happened last time too. Oh, you know what? It was under the emulator stream. Hold on. Like, so this one, I had to remake the alert. I'm betting that secondary alert, I'm betting the alerts got fixed yesterday, and the secondary alert that I put in was fucking with things. Let me try it now.
Mushroom.
Yep. That's what was doing it. So when I recreated the stupid alert yesterday, it worked for yesterday, but today when everything got fixed with the syncing, it's stupid is what it is. All right. Where are you localized to? Are you talking to Brad or are you talking to me? This looks like your auntie's kitchen. I mean, this kitchen's really pretty. This kitchen's massive. I'm impressed if you know someone with a kitchen like this. But as far as I'm concerned, we're localized. We're on the East Coast. Isaac and I are both on the East Coast. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Dilly. Isaac is my husband. Together we make up the Dilzik channel. He works from at home, which is why he's not here. He typically streams. Actually, he's not doing any more streams tonight because he has to prep for the Dungeons and Dragons session this Saturday since he's the DM. And I want to take the screen. So he told me that I'm going to be doing any other streams for the rest of the week, at least until he's done with that. Your internet is buggy today. That sucks. We don't stream D&D on our channel, but we host it through our channel. It actually gets played through... Yeah, we have some people that online get played with. It's with Cat for the Win, Ritz plays, and Gom. And I play one of the other player characters, the best one. And Isaac is the DM. He ends up DMing it once a month, and the next session is this coming Saturday. Again, we don't stream it because you would see the DM side, which we don't want. However, we do host Cat's channel, where it is one of the 3 channels that it gets streamed on. And he always stresses out and turns into a giant pile of anxious stress the week of, and over preps for everything, which, I mean, it works because he has everything super prepped. I don't like this green for the stove. But yeah. Cast magic missile into the dark. I love that sketch. Cast magic missile into the dark. No, I have two gray eyes. Sheet says blue eyes. No, that I changed it. There is a really old PC game called Summoner. Why is this redoing itself? It's fucking pissing me off. There's a really old PC game called Summoner, and Summoner had this amazing it's driving me nuts. Had this amazing sketch with it using their own internal game assets for that casting magic missile into the darkness. I have to find it someday because I do have the Summoner game and I do have it. I know you can look it up on YouTube though. If you look up PC Summoner magic missile into the darkness or something, you'll find it. It's an amazing sketch and it's funny as hell. He stretches a lot too when he D&D. Is he a good DM? He's pretty dang good. Yeah. I like it. I mean, there's certain sessions I don't like as much, and I do tell him. There's other sessions where I really enjoy it. But yeah, overall, no, he does really, really good. I don't like this. Actually, I don't like the fact that this white doesn't feel like the same white. What is this? 255, 251, 251, 251. Aha. I mean, I know that was super nitpicking, but whatever. I don't care. Lights. I really want a stove hood for lighting. I need to adjust that lighting. Born Rainbows, thank you for the resub. You're just saying that because you guys bone, or is he actually good? No, he's actually good. I'm very, very brutally honest with him on when I don't like a session and when I do like a session. A lot of his initial thoughts and ideas on how to DM, he got off of some of the stuff that I had learned when I DM'd briefly back in the day with 3rd edition, and when I had a DM when I was younger, when I was playing 3rd edition. Actually, I was playing 2nd edition at that time. I don't like this metal. I mean, I don't always like this stove hood either. Let me see if I have a different one. I know I have this one. I don't like this one. I do have this one, which I almost never use, but would fit this kitchen. Oh, God. I mean, it would fit now. It doesn't really feel like a stove hood. Did I forget to update when D&D is held next time since it says September 20th? I'm not the one who updates it. Isaac does. That's his responsibility. And he probably did forget. So what is your party like? For D&D, we have a Ranger Beastmaster who's half the time too scared to use her kitty cat in combat. She has a panther, and she's so afraid the panther's gonna die that she doesn't want to ever send her into combat. We have a... Let's see. What is Ritz? He's a half-elf rogue swashbuckler, I want to say. Is he a swashbuckler? He's one of the archetypes that came from one of the other books. I want to say it's from Xanathar's. My character is a 1st level druid, 6th level wizard. And she's amazing and was top of her class. And Gom is a warlock who is working on a level of wizard. It's time to pester Isaac. Feel free to pester him on it. Like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? I mean, that's what Saturday morning stream is probably going to be. It's probably going to be more D&D, knowing him. If he's stressing out, it's going to end up being Saturday morning D&D. I don't know how I feel about this being the hood, just because it blends in too much with the wall. Like, in some cases, I don't mind this. Other cases, I do. Let me get my other two. So, I'm just only starting with Sims 3 as a light start to the day. I will be moving into... We've been playing the Harry Potter games. We've already played the PC games. Harry Potter 1, 2, 3. We have touched on Goblet of Fire. We haven't finished it. How do classes work in 5e? That's a very complicated response. You would need to look it up. Why would you want to be a wizard if you're a warlock? Much larger spell. There's a lot of bonuses and negatives to being a warlock, same as with being a wizard. But wizards have a much larger spell repertoire than a warlock ever could. Plus, his character as the character is designed with the personality and everything was initially intending to be a wizard, ended up having to take warlock instead because she didn't feel like, I forget the whole scheme. It's like she didn't feel like she was succeeding or something, or she wasn't successful enough because her magic had been drained from her at the time. Now she wants to get back into it again. I really want to put this up. See, I like this, but at the same time, I mean, I could always do one of the overhanging pots, but it's gonna look weird, I think. Where are the overhanging pots? Still seems really complicated to play mage. It depends. You get used to it. Any of the classes just feel complicated unless you end up playing them. Part of D&D is just learning them. You make your party worry about food and water. Lightly, but not really. when I played D&D back in the day, our DM used to act like when I first learned about D&D, our DM got certain nitty-gritty features down, and it kind of made the world feel a lot more grounded, and I liked that. So I have no problems with worrying about rations and water and things like that. With the exception that my current character completely forgot to buy rations, and now she's sort of like pawning food off of everyone else in the party at the moment. Where is this pots and pans? Ugh, probably under all. I mean, it's gonna be under all, but here. Flour. Here. Pie. Might as well. Here, knife block. Little things that we can end up moving around. Just grab them as I see them. It seems important. Who has that many pans? This many? A large kitchen with lots of cooking. Downstairs, I think I have four frying pans, of varying sizes, and I have one very large wok that I use regularly. And I also have a Dutch oven, and I have 4 pots, and we have a crock pot on top of that. So this is only technically 1 pan more than what I currently have downstairs. So, yeah. Did you quit Resi Zero? No. Resi Zero is going to be played on Friday. If I end up not making good headway with Resi Zero, I'm probably going to start interjecting it next week. But right now, currently, Fridays are going to be the... Actually, I think this next Friday is the next one for Halloween-y type games. And then I'm going to start interjecting them throughout the week. And then the week of Halloween, we'll be focusing more on some of the Halloween-y type games. With response to Resident Evil, though, I did get the original PC Resident Evil game functioning on my computer. And that one we don't have on our YouTube channel, so I'm probably going to play that if you've never seen the original Resident Evil. And even if you've seen the original Resident Evil, if you have never seen the PC version has the uncensored cinematics. No, we're not playing Resi Zero today. Today is Harry Potter... Probably Harry Potter GameCube. I'm assuming we're probably going to finish it and then move into the Chamber of Secrets for the PlayStation. And then we're going to hopefully finish out No One Lives Forever, or The Operative. The Operative No One Lives Forever. Put one of these in here. Sure, why not? I mean, could. Not necessary, but could. There's another feature. Like Harry Potter. I do like Harry Potter in general. Most of the games that I'm playing right now I've never played before. We're sort of just exploring them together. If you haven't seen the channel from earlier, we played through all of the Tomb Raider games, all the major Tomb Raider games on the channel. We played Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, Last Revelation, Chronicles. We skipped Angel of Darkness because we already have a full playthrough VOD of it up on our YouTube channel, which is the same name as this channel. And then we went into playing Tomb Raider Legend, we played Tomb Raider Anniversary, Tomb Raider Underworld, then we played the reboots. So Harry Potter I just initially intended to touch for the PC versions, just to go through them, and then I had a lot of requests as I was playing them to just play through all of them, and I just kind of shoulder shrugged and said, you know what, I never really played them, so outside of the PC games and one of the Game Boy Advance games, I never really played the Harry Potter games, so sure, why not? So now we're kind of exploring them all, including Deathly Hallows at some point. Angel of Darkness is the best Tomb Raider. Fight me, it's not. It's the worst. Like, people who say that have played it and it was one of their first Tomb Raiders and they don't remember it. It's kind of like when I played Goblet of Fire and people were all like, this was my favorite Harry Potter game. It turned out when I asked them, most people it was their favorite because it was their first one played. And as they were watching it being played, a lot of people were like, why is this worse than I remember? I'm like, because it was bad. It's like people just have sugar-coated like memories from nostalgia. How old is this game? Sims 3. When did Sims 3 come out? Let's look real quick. I have all the expansions with the exception of Into the Future, but if we go based off of the release date, Sims 3 originally released on June 2nd, 2009. So yeah, no, this one's oldish, 11 years. Has less expansions than Sims 4 and still has a lot more content to offer than The Sims 4. Especially with this. Okay, so last time when I wanted to make cast iron skillets. You know what, maybe we'll just do copper in here. For like a variation here, copper pans. We'll just make them darker. So we have a variation of them. There we go. It's not retro. Retro's 15 years or older. I don't have the retro tag on here. I shouldn't. But let me double check because it might have gotten lost and stuck on here. No, it's not. It's not on here. Someone mentioned a mod for Harry Potter stuff in The Sims 3, but I don't know how true that is. It probably is. I mean, The Sims 3, you can easily, you have wizards and witches. I'm pretty sure you can get mods to get like Harry Potter stuff in here easily. See, here's my original thought, but at the same time, we'll just put that there. Can I put that there? Yeah. A little close. Here, just move it there. I put this in the corner a lot. I feel like it's just gonna catch on fire there. And like I said, I put it in a corner a lot. Here, we'll put it there. Wait, Sims 3 was released 2009? Wow, that feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah, it can definitely feel like a lifetime ago. But yeah, no, it's 2003, 2009 apparently. When did I meet Isaac? Oh god, what year was it? Isaac knows the exact date and year. We met online through a mutual friend. I had a friend that I knew from living in Los Angeles who knew Isaac from online because he was in his FC in Final Fantasy XIV, and there was a day when Isaac had approached him and sat there and basically said, "I'm lonely, do you know anyone who, like, is looking for anyone?" And my friend at the time said, "Well, I do know this really great guy." And then he basically gave him my contact information and then promptly told me, he's all like, "So I gave your information to this guy who's interested." And I was like, "Oh," and I was interested. And then later on, I found out where Isaac lived. I'm like, "You gave my information to someone that lives on the East Coast? I'm on the West Coast. What do you want me to do with this?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm sorry." And at least a year later, our relationship went so well that I ended up moving coasts and we got married a year after that. 5 years ago, I want to say. 6 years ago. Someone say me. Met face-to-face October. Yeah, no, yes, we met face-to-face in October because we went to Disneyland and Disneyland was all set up for Halloween. Loved him enough to move? Damn straight. I mean, I was already at the mode. I had been at the mode before I met Isaac where I was not enjoying my time in Los Angeles anyways. I was born and raised there, but I did not get along very well with the people there. So when an opportunity came up for me to move, it wasn't that hard for me to think about it. So I had already gone through my head in the past on if I ever had the chance to move, would I? And that helped a lot with the decision on being willing to move. Obviously, the relationship being the other factor, because there's no way I was going to just up and move if we like didn't have a decent relationship and I didn't see it going somewhere that was worth exploring. Like, because you don't just move otherwise for that. Come on. I'm trying to get this lamp to be... It's doing that whole thing where it's all like, I need to think and just stutter briefly. So if I let go, it's going to recolor the wall. There we go. You think Isaac's supporting both of you, so his job must be... No, he's not supporting both of us. We both definitely contribute. We are able to function because of how we deal with our finances right now. And unemployment definitely was helping, though unemployment is basically all but has basically ended, and now I need to look into getting the extension for COVID. I'm trying to stay out of the workforce as long as possible, just because of the COVID situation. I do keep an eye on what's going on with COVID as much as possible. And I look up the statistics. Basically, I've been looking them up through John Hopkins on a regular basis to see where things are, and they're not looking good. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm trying to, like, make sure the lights are on the same spot, and they are. Okay. So, they said a few streams ago that they're scraping by until Dilly gets a job, so I doubt we're not scraping by, but we're definitely being cautious. We're not in the mode where we can be buying things willy-nilly. We have a hard cap on what we are allowed to do and what we aren't allowed to do. We are no longer allowed to eat out. We are no longer allowed to order in, which we were doing at times. Our quick food supplement right now is frozen pizza or frozen burritos if one of us is too tired to cook. Typically I do the cooking, but we just have some hard limits on certain things, which allows us to keep going with the current finances. When COVID had hit and people were getting supplements, anyone who was on unemployment was getting an extra lump of money every single week. All that money got shoved into savings originally with the intention of it going to a vacation, so we could actually afford to go on a vacation. But because of the current situation, it's now turning into the emergency fund. So I'm very, very, very glad that it got shoved in there. So financially, we're okay. But I can say we're probably okay for another 6 months if I don't get the emergency unemployment. And the emergency unemployment extension is only supposed to be for 3 months instead of 6. Which I have to look into now that I think of, because they said I was auto-enrolled and I'd hear something. I have heard nothing. I want to put this here, but I don't know if I want this. I kind of do. Who am I kidding? But yeah, Isaac is customer service and handles calls. He's he hates his job. He absolutely hates it. So at some point, like when I get back into the working world, hopefully there will be a way for him to just have enough of a reason to just leave. Mushroom. But at the same time, he needs some good references for just in general. We're too chilly MB. Thank you for the follow, and I know I butchered your username, and I'm sorry. But yeah. So the idea is that he has the chance eventually to get the hell out of there, but we need to make sure he does it in a way that it's good for him and for his resumes. There's another thing like this I had. Can I just look at wall decorations? It'll be in here. I don't remember. It's a store-based item, so maybe if I just say show me store items, it'll pop up. But I have a lot of store decorative items. Need fingers crossed for you guys and your well-being. Oh, thank you, Master Yoshika. We'll likely be fine. When it comes down to finances, I tend to get really I tend to really knuckle down. Isaac panics. I've dealt with it beforehand. I'm not worried about finding a job because I tend to find one really quick. It's just when I start looking, and I'm trying to hold off on looking as much as possible just because of freaking COVID. Let's see. You almost a year to find the job you have. Yeah, it can be really hard sometimes. I'm lucky in that my general search, usually I can find something in about 2 to 3 months. And that has never changed. And I have, I can only attribute it to my experiences that I have and the multiple different types of jobs I've had over the years. I realized I copied the cushion and I did not copy the rest of the chair. So I'm not too worried about finding something. I'm trying to be calculating and making sure that when I search, I have plenty of time so that we're not having any financial issues. We keep as much of the savings as possible. And I give myself enough leeway that in case it takes a little bit longer, we have that extra. Take it easy. Why don't you just make a Patreon? Because we have nothing to offer. There's like absolutely nothing to offer for a Patreon. And creating a Patreon to sit there and say, pay our way feels really douchey. I like how I put a pool back there and I forgot about that pool and I just saw it and I'm like, why is there a pool back there? just sitting here. And it's the most unimaginative shape. I was trying to make something interesting and when I came out, I was like, this is it. And I'm like, oh. Your grandma has these counters. These counters are fucking awesome looking. It's just, it doesn't work in every single house. There's a childhood friend of Isaac's that we've been over to her house. She doesn't live at that house anymore, but her kitchen was very similar to this concept. It was different colors, but it was very similar to this concept. Because there's a lot of old Victorian style homes where we live. I kind of want to put this stream every day. Why don't you have a Patreon? Because there's nothing to do for a Patreon. Like, what am I going to sit there and say? Become a Patreon and watch our streams? Like, I don't... Patreon is kind of a give and take. When you make a Patreon, the idea is that you're sitting there and telling people they can pledge to support you, but in return, you're going to be giving someone something. The only times I've ever seen it where it hasn't been along those lines has been when someone ends up making a Patreon, like, there's a guy Isaac watches who does, he takes the Pokemon series and really, like, rips them apart and nitpicks them and gives reviews on them. He doesn't exactly give much more than early access to his videos, but at the same time, the amount of time and energy he puts into his content, it makes sense for him to have a Patreon. I don't see a point for us to have Flipendo. Wait, okay, we're gonna be playing that today. But I don't see the point to a Patreon just because we don't really have anything to offer in that respect. Like, I can't think of anything that we could put down that sit there and say, hey, this is worthwhile to, like, invest in us in for some reason. I wanted to put, like... Hold on. What if I just do... How close can I get these? Pretty damn close, actually. Could get rid of that island and just do this. Why not just write a letter to all your patrons once a month? Once a month? Because that seems stupid. I don't know anyone that does that. Like, you know, streamer using the Patreon as a crutch instead of... I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to use their Patreons for whatever reason. Like, I mean, if you don't like the way someone's doing a Patreon, all I can sit there and say is just don't support them. Like, I don't like supporting people that I don't actually like the way they're doing things. At least I'm honest. Well, I mean, there's no reason to not be honest. I mean, the thing with Patreon, is, like I said, is it's a give and take. It's kind of something you do if you're ending up like I don't know. It's something to do when you have something to give back. And if you don't have a whole lot to actually give back, then the content that you're creating should be something that's worthwhile enough. Can I just shove these tables like this? This looks like the jankiest thing ever. Like, but yeah, no, it's, is Bodhi there as a tiger? Oh, it's a Bodhi. Bodhi's on Isaac's chair. Isaac's apparently taking a break. Oh yeah, this is break time. But yeah, we don't really have anything to offer, and that's why I don't want to do it. You really want Sims 5 to come out? I'm worried about Sims 5. I don't think Sims 5, like with the way they're treating Sims 4, I'm worried that Sims 5 is not going to be any different. And we've seen the death of the Sims, whether we want to admit it or not, and it makes me sad. Hello there, 05676. Thank you for the follow. Oh, stop that. Put that there. I know I put it over in the other stove beforehand, but the funny thing is, this is the first time I've had to not dim this light down. This kitchen is so massive. At the same time, do I have benches? I don't think I do. I don't think that's a thing. Like these benches, no. I'm talking about like the flat ones without the bags. I don't think those exist in The Sims. Not unless they were attached to the table there is. The logic for both Patreon and Twitch is, would I want to see more of this? Would I put a few bucks into that? Yeah. I mean, I can understand. Yeah, that kind of thing, yes. In my opinion, I'm already going to be streaming, so why am I going to sit there and say, yo, support me so I can continue streaming? We're already streaming. It's not changing. I want this wood to be... I don't like... Here. Can I take this and put it here? There we go. I like that. Okay. That's only one of the tables, I just realized. Here, do that to all the tables. Match the wood. Match the frickin' wood. No, don't do that. I just realized that'd be bad. I think I kind of want to darken the wood for the chair a little. I'm gonna be switching to Harry Potter very soon. Like, I'm committed to, like, whether anyone doesn't like it or not, I'm committed at this point to just finishing the Harry Potter series out. And, I mean, I'm liking it and I'm enjoying it. There's something really enjoyable about it. And considering that I came off of, like, Spiritfarer and picked up Harry Potter to, like, that as my low-key start for the day, I'm happy with it. Like, it's a good start for the day, and it's turned into a little bit more than that. Wasn't meant to be, but it is. What? Buddy. What is Buddy doing? He's being a buddy.
Wolver trying to...
What's Wolver trying to do? Some streamers say they won't do certain games unless they get the Patreon support. No, yeah. Like, I just play whatever I want to play. Don't hit me. What the hell was that? I love you too. Like, I play whatever I want to play. Right now, it's been the Harry Potter games. Like I said, initially I wasn't intending to do them all, but I had a bunch of people that were all like, oh, this is so nostalgic, play them all. And I'm just like, no. And I even played Goblet of Fire to, like, for some people. Did I finish it? No. I'm still tempted to finish it just so we have it finished on the channel. But it is very tedious. It's very arcadey and, like, it doesn't stop. Why would anyone go into this dining room when he has this? The kitchen seats 8 people. It can sit 12, but that's too many chairs and it would be too difficult to navigate around. But it's like, why would anyone go into this area now? So this whole thing needs to become like a sitting room or something, and maybe I'll put a fireplace in here. We have just changed up our dynamic. Oh my god. I get what you mean, but at the same time, they don't owe you anything for free. It's up to them how to run this channel. Like, you're from a poor area and can't afford it. I'm looking up and I see your statement, Worm. Yeah, no, we definitely, we only tell people, we appreciate the, like, so if you want to support our channel, subscribing is the best way to support. Don't feel obligated. Do what you can. Always take care of yourself first. We function regardless. I hate doing it like this, by the way, with the rooms all matchy-matchy, but I don't know what else to do at the moment. Honestly, this particular game, I swear I feel like I only, like right now, I only have like so much in me for designing each of these rooms. Yep. Back over there. No. Is that going through the wall? Yes. Back there. It's fake food, but whatever. It looks pretty. Can I get like a little plant on some of these tables? Probably. Do I want to put a little plant in some of these tables? Checking. I don't know. Nah. Takes up too much room. I can't get them right. Oh, I can't get them just right. I'd want to put them in the corners to try and get things clustered in the middle. You can't do that. So we're gonna go to 10 and we're saving our movie.